Congratulations once again to making it to the Sweet 16. This is nothing new for you. You have been here before. You've been to the Elite Eight. You've been to the Final Four. What's different about this team?
Well, we've got unique pieces this year, Dan. We're starting, 5 guys that are all 6'5", 6'6", and, we can really spread teams out. We have had some difficulties guarding inside, which will create big problems with USC with their size, and created problems last night with Iowa. But this team, can get it going offensively. When they do, they're tough to guard. We've got all 5 guys that start can shoot the three. All 5 can put it on the floor and make plays. So we're a unique team offensively, and defensively we try to change things up a lot so that people can't take advantage of their size against us. But been a fun group to work with. We've gone through injuries. We've gone through the COVID. We lost our postman, who was a great player, Infali Dante, the 6th game of the year, to ACL injury, which made us go small, and the guys have adjusted well.
Well, the number that really stood out to me was not the number everybody was talking about when you guys beat Iowa and put 95 points up on the board and 56 in the first half. It was the 25 assists. The ball movement, you must have been elated. I know you guys have done that throughout the season, but you've never put 95 points up on a board, and I don't know that you've had 25 assists in a game. Maybe you have, but you look fantastic.
Dan, you're right. I was really proud of the guys. The ball movement last night was the best we've had. We were beating them off penetration. The help would come. We'd kick it out. We hit 11 threes because we took good threes. And the ball movement was really good, and that's something that's critical to our success. I keep emphasizing it to the guys that, when we've been successful in ball games, it's because of the ball movement, the shot selection. We are a good defensive team, not a great defensive team, but a good defensive team, and we've just got to make sure that we move the ball, and we've got 5 guys who are averaging in double figures, so we've got to pick out the weak defender and try to take advantage of it.
What are the numbers? You talk about the ball movement. You had 25 assists. You mentioned the 11 threes. You also had 10 dunks in the game. What are you going to be putting up there on the whiteboard in your pregame speech to the guys? If we do this, and this against USC, then we're going to take this game.
Well, the first thing is we got to rebound the ball. With their size, they're a very good rebounding team, and so we can't be giving up second and third shots. They played very well against Kansas last night, if you caught that game, and we're going to have to make sure that we don't give them any second shots. When we lost to them in L.A., they got off to a great start hitting threes. So defending the three, Dan, will be really important to us. So they've got a great balance inside out. Obviously, the Mobley brothers inside give them a 1-2 punch inside. Their guards can all shoot the three. So very tough defensive assignment, but we just can't let them go crazy from three like they did in the first ball game.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.